Welcome to Balance and Beyond, the podcast for women who've outgrown the old model of success, the ones who look fine on the outside but know the way they've been living no longer fits. If you're standing in the space between who you were and who you're becoming, this is for you. I honour the space you've created today. Let's dive in. I want to ask you a question. When was the last time you actually felt on top of things? Not for a blip or an hour. I mean an entire day. Perhaps even a day where you went to bed and there was nothing left undone, nothing nagging, nothing that you should have done. I'm hearing a whole lot of, Joe, are you kidding? Maybe 1985? I know, you always feel behind no matter how much you get done in a day. And even though you may call bullshit on me, I want you to entertain the thought. What if you're not actually behind? What if you've been playing a rigged game your entire life without knowing it? The one keeping you feeling behind no matter how much you do. Today, we're going to strip it all back and show you the way out. So let's talk about this game. It's actually quite simple. Get on top of everything, be ahead, and then you're allowed to feel okay. You've been playing this game since you were about 9, maybe 11. Get the grades, get the job, get the partner, get the house, get the body or try to, get the kids and try to get the body back, get the title, climb the ladder. Once it's all in place, then you can relax, then you can rest, then you can enjoy it. But you've been playing this game for decades. Have you ever reached the now you can relax and now you can rest part? You've done enough? No. If you listen to this podcast, hell no. Because the goalposts move every single time you even get close. And you've been moving with each of these goalposts, not noticing that the line was never going to stay still. The reason you never get there isn't a discipline problem. It's how the rules of the game work. And spoiler alert, you made up the rules. There is a list that you have decided have to be ticked off in order for you to feel okay, ultimately to feel safe enough to relax, to stop, to switch off. Many women in my world, that looks like inbox 0, let's just say under control. Kids are meant to be fed properly, not just toast. House tidy enough that maybe you might not die if someone dropped in. You need that project at work done well to its full potential, not just done a little bit. You want your body looking in a certain way. You've probably got aging parents, aging relatives. You're trying to keep up some form of friendship. You might have a partner that you're trying to keep even just a little bit happy. You want to be in a good financial position. You want to make sure no one's annoyed at you. You've got to be exercising. You've got to make sure that you're having your protein. You've got to be hydrated. You've got to stay on top of your supplements. Oh my God. Oh my God. That's the list. Tell me, have all of those ever at once been true in any way, shape, and form? If you answered yes, I want to know who you are and which desert island you live on alone with a whole stack of protein, because that's the only way this is going to happen. Now, let's just take a deep breath in and look at that list again. Now, I might have dramatized here. You know, I love a good bit of dramatics, but there's a very good chance that a lot of the things on your list about what has to be ticked off in order for you to relax or switch off or enjoy everything you've worked so freaking hard for is things that you don't control. Your kids' moods, what food they're going to eat, your boss's deadlines, the workload that comes your way, your mother's expectations, your bloody hormones, your partner's stress, the batshit craziness of the world we live in right now. I know you're going, ha ha ha, funny Joe. Yes, I know it feels a little bit silly that these are all things on our list because you have built a system and rigged it that feeling okay depends almost entirely on things that you can't control. Now, when those things aren't met, which is most of the time, probably all of the time, you do the only thing you know how to do, a strategy that you've been employing since you were 6. It looks like this: try harder, grip more, control more, do more, faster, longer, better. The irony of this game that you have made up is that it's rigged. You're playing a game you cannot win. The system itself guarantees that you will never feel done. That's not a bug, it's how the system was built. The really cruel part is the harder you play the game, and you listen to my podcast, so you're a high achiever, you're playing the game pretty hard. The more the game rewards you, the more you get trapped inside it. So the game rewards you for never being done. You get promotions, praise, you build a reputation. You're probably doing 3 people's jobs right now. There's things people say about you at barbecues. You're the one who holds it together. I don't know how she does it all. The one who never drops the ball. The game has been paying you in external validation and a whole other range of rewards, which is why you can't stop. Little voice inside you says, "Oh, this is great. I'm getting promotions. I'm getting the money. I should feel good." But on the inside, you are absolutely exhausted. You're running on fumes. Your body's giving out. And even though something inside you knows this isn't sustainable, you keep going. Now, you may be someone who's whispered, or maybe it's hitting you like a boulder, those words, "I can't keep going on like this. This isn't sustainable." It's one of the most common things women say as they come into my world. This isn't usually their first rodeo. It's not the first time this thought of, "Oh my God, I can't keep going like this," ever comes to them. But it's almost like every year they had that thought. January 1, they're like, "I'm not doing another year like last year. I can't do it." But every year they continue to defy the limits of their own exhaustion, becomes a perverted feather in their cap. I did it on fumes and I still got promoted. I did it on fumes and I'm still married. I did it on fumes and I'm still standing. Well, are you? Is this really the life that you want to be living? Because the great fear they can't name is if you stop winning at this rigged game that you're playing, who are you? Because that identity is what you've built everything on top of. Because you're stuck in this doing trap. The more you do, you get this little tiny hit of, "I'm on top of it." Maybe it's I'm on top of my inbox, or I'm on top of my notifications. I open my phone and I don't have any of those little tiny red numbers on anything. Yay! And then ping! Oh, the bubble pops. And it's lasted about 4 minutes. And then if you've managed to get on top of it all, here's how the self-fulfilling prophecy plays out. Because you're a high achiever, you go, "Oh, I'm kind of on top of it. No one's died yet. I'm going to move the bar," subconsciously, because you've now proven to yourself and possibly your boss that you can deliver at this level. So now the stretch, or what you thought was a stretch, is now the new baseline. And you always like to see what's possible, because heaven forbid you be mediocre. Oh my God, that's so not you. So you continue to defy expectations to show what's possible. We see this happen at work all the time. People say, "So and so's left, I'll do it for a month." They do it, kill themselves on the inside, but their boss goes, "Oh, you're fine. You can cope. We don't need to replace that role now." And then they go, "All right, I'll do it another month." And then someone else leaves. And then you push and you push and you get an iron infusion so you can push a little bit more and you hustle, but then you still can't get on top of it. It's like trying to keep pace with a treadmill that speeds up every time you do. And you've been on this treadmill for so long, you think running this fast is normal. It's not normal, it's just familiar. Because under all this doing, all this pushing, all this hustling is control being the way you've tried to keep yourself okay your whole life. It's how you've stayed safe, loved, protected, valuable. And it worked for a really, really long time and got you so much. But it's not working anymore, especially right now. The world's gone batshit crazy. Most women I speak to have impossible workloads. Your body's doing things that it didn't used to do. Your kids are unpredictable in ways that you can't expect. Parents are probably getting older. And so now you're stuck, just trapped in this game of I have to do more to catch up, to continually prove and try to feel like I'm done. But now you've got this added layer of ways that you're trying to get control back in a life that feels out of control. There are three key things that we see women do to try to get that feeling back of being on top of things. Who loves a good spiral? 3 a.m. wake up, catastrophizing about the thing that you didn't say, or the conversation you've had 4 ways since Thursday, but not to the person. Maybe you're doom scrolling, adding to the list, just replying to the US while they're awake so that we can move faster on this thing at 3 a.m., rehearsing tomorrow before you've even got there. I spent a lot of time at 3 a.m. sending notes to London or New York or whoever else because, again, I felt like I was trying to use the time at 3 a.m. to get ahead while I should have been sleeping. Another way that we try to get our control back is we overcompensate, we over deliver, trying to do more harder, whether it's the beautiful color coded spreadsheet. Our perfectionist gets unleashed here. Maybe we do a marathon meal prep session, so I'm going to get ahead. But in reality, we're just doing more and more and more, hoping that if I overcompensate and over prepare, then I will have felt like I've done enough to actually relax and enjoy my life. Or the final one is the shutdown. Wine, Netflix, couch, numb time. Having your phone in your hand for 3 hours, doom scrolling with no idea of what you were just looking at. You were just doing anything to escape your life and feel in control of the scroll or in control of that wine glass when everything else feels crazy. Now, when all of this is going on, there is also a fantasy that sits in the background running constantly. And maybe this wakes you up at 4 a.m. Pretty sure it certainly dominates your Pinterest feed. Sell the house, move to the country, run a bakery or an antique store or start a nursery, get in the car and just drive like Thelma and Louise, leaving your life behind you. Spoiler alert, the fantasy isn't really about the antique store, but who wouldn't love Brad Pitt from Thelma and Louise to come along with this? It's about an escape. Because somewhere in you, you already know this isn't sustainable, but you don't know what to do about it. So you either double down on your controlling mechanisms, you're spiraling, you're overcompensating, or you try to get more organized and do more and try to get ahead of things. The escape hatch is this fantasy as the placeholder for an answer that you haven't found yet, but one that just feels like relief. But here's the thing about the fantasy. And I know because I lived it, I sold the house, I left the job, I blew it all up because I thought that was the answer. I didn't know how to get out of this life I built. And so that felt simpler. But the game that I'd rigged wasn't in the house, wasn't in the job. The game of never feeling ahead and it never being enough and it never feeling like you're on top of things, that was still inside me in the new house, in the new business, almost with the new husband. It took the saying, wherever you go, there you are. The game took me with it. So no matter what situation I would be in, whether I was in that antique store in the beautiful house in the country, the game would have been, oh, this has got potential. We're going to do up the house. We're going to put in a new point of sale system. We're going to blow up on Instagram. We're going to get new suppliers. Suddenly I'll be going to trade shows overseas and I'll be doing new stock and then I'll be adding a cafe. And then because this is part of my high achiever DNA, but it also is what completely robs me of the ability to enjoy the life that I've built. It's not the only exit. It's not the only way to feel like yourself again, but it's often the only one that you can currently see. There is another way out. but you won't find it by playing harder. And you won't find it in burning everything down. Here is where you find it. On May 29th, the Overdrive Reset kicks off. This is where you're going to practice getting out of this rigged game in real time. Not in theory, in your actual life, on Tuesday morning, Thursday in your 4 p.m. when it all goes sideways. This isn't just more insight. You've got enough stuff in your head. You're probably one of the most self-aware women that I'll ever speak to. You've done the podcasts. Hello, what you're listening to right now. Knowledge is not your problem. Practice is. 8 days in WhatsApp. So you're going to get my voice delivered directly to you every single day for free. 2 live workshops where we're going to go deeper than I can go on a podcast. The link is in the show notes. Get yourself in that room right now, because the game isn't going to stop being rigged. The world is not going to settle down, and you are not going to catch your breath anytime soon. The only thing that changes is whether you keep playing or you learn how to step off the treadmill without blowing your life up. So if you keep shutting down the "I can't keep doing this" thought, then I will see you on the 29th of May. Thanks for joining me today. If this episode resonated, share it with a woman who needs to hear it. And if you want to be part of the ripple effect, leaving a review helps it reach the women it's meant for. I'll see you next time.